I'm Sam Rose, and you're tuning in to Commerce is Chaos, the podcast for consumer brand founders who know that building a business is messier than the highlight reel shows. Your supplier just missed their deadline, your top product is out of stock, and your competitor somehow launched the same thing at half the price. Sound familiar? Every week, we dive into the real problems that keep founders up at night, from inventory disasters to supply chain nightmares, because surviving the chaos is what separates brands that fail from brands that scale. Kate Assaraf bootstrapped Dip Hair Care into a seven-figure plastic-free brand, sold exclusively through independent zero-waste stores, surf shops, and eco-salons, with no outside investors and no paid ads. She's also turned down Amazon more than 100 times and counting. Okay, let's drop into the beginning of it all. Tell me how and why. I can think of some of the whys, but I want to hear them in your words. Tell me all about Dip and just the beginning and where you're at.
Sure. So for me, I've been trying to reduce my plastic since I first found out that it was, one, not recycled, and two, like wreaking havoc on endocrine systems and disrupting, aquatic life and animal life. It was just everything at once kind of hit me with plastic in 2014. And so I spent, from 2014 until 2021, when we launched, I was looking for the perfect solution for my hair. And I could make all the other swaps, the kitchen, the bathroom, like I was like an avid refiller, but it really got under my skin that hair care, because I've been in the beauty industry for 20 years, that the hair care that was made that was plastic free seemed to pay attention to only this one type of avatar of a customer, like the very crunchy granola, all natural consumer. And that is not what I am. I am a very big, champion of chemistry and hair science and all of the things that make your hair look wonderful, and all of the improvements we've made since shampoo was first invented. So my beef is with the plastic. It's not with the formulas, and it's not with the chemistry, and it's not the hair science. So I wanted something that just performed like an Oribe, a Kerastase, a Pureology. But I just wanted to get rid of the plastic. And I thought, if I'm getting rid of the plastic, I might as well make it last so long that it becomes something someone buys regardless of whether it's plastic free or not, because it saves them a lot of money. Because I don't know how often you were buying, I don't know if you're a hair care junkie, but I was buying Oribe Gold Lust conditioner. It's like a small tube of it, not recyclable, every 3 to 5 weeks. Wow. And so that is a lot of money just in conditioners. My Dip bar lasts a year on my hair and saves me over $500.
Which is stunning, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's a little hot. It's like a little hot here, so I feel like I look like it's hot here. But yeah, it's
glow.
It's like, yeah, the glow with the lights, the anti-aging lights on my face. But yeah, I wanted it to be like, I know sustainability isn't the draw for most people when they buy luxury hair care. It's the performance. So I wanted to make sure that this saved someone money and performed the same way.
And such an interesting distinction that you're making between, who you're selling to, and then like what's inside the box for them, because so often those two things kind of get conflated together. And then if you want to be sustainable, you sort of there's a lot of stereotypes that follow, product and positioning, and some of those stereotypes, particularly in product positioning, are really helpful, right? Like they help us understand what's for us intuitively from the way that it looks and presents. And you're right, like having that influence what's inside the package as well isn't necessarily always the right outcome for the way that you want the product to be in the world.
And because I've been in beauty so long, you kind of see how there becomes like a market leader and then a bunch of followers in every category. So like there was a long time where every time I was someone would call me into a marketing meeting, the person would be like, I want to be the Glossier of this category. I want to be the Glossier of this category. I want to be the Glossier of this. And it's like, no, just if you, or I just want to be Glossier. Like that was the other one too. Like,
is that so much?
Same colors, same components, same story, same everything. Similar font. Like I was in many meetings where that was kind of how conversations went. And you can see how in sustainability, the same avatar of a marketer is in every stupid meeting, right? Like they're like, I want to be the next high bar. I want to be the next high bar. I want to be the next high bar, blah, blah. It's just, it's a little tragic that with these beautiful brains we've been handed as a human species, people go in and just want to be like everyone else. I find it almost comical. But I've seen it so many times. And so when I looked at all of the bar hair care that existed before dip, and still, like, I don't know anyone else that's has like been able to replicate our story, but everyone is doing it really the same way for the same person.
Yeah.
And I don't know any people like that really in real life that exist. I don't know the person that is so crunchy that they want to look eco-friendly, not just be eco-friendly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like I know some of those people.
Well, you're in the Bay Area, right?
No, now I'm in SoCal,
Oh,
but here's where they're in the beach.
yes. But yeah, I mean,
They're
honestly,
not
like
in New Jersey.
in New Jersey, I mean, like, first of all, I'm Persian and I'm also from New Jersey. These two cultures are very serious about hair. So it's I want the high standards hair care, but you know, just I have two children. I want the world like from here on out to be better and to have less plastic. And I also know that making bar hair care exactly in the same path as my competitors means you're just you're just swapping bar hair care people to and fro. My goal is to take people that would never, ever in their, you know, in their own kind of path touch bar hair care and switch over. So if I take someone away from one of those fast to consume, high-end bottled, pricey bottled brands, that is where I'm making the impact. Like, I don't want to take someone away from an eco brand already. They're doing it right.
They're right. They're
like, it's whether you want to make a difference or you don't. And I don't want to steal from brands that already have a customer base that works for them.
Oh, I love that. I love that perspective. And that, like, if you're already doing the work and the product is working for you, great. But if what you're really addressing is like an unchampioned customer, someone who wants this luxurious experience, but in a more eco-friendly package.
Because marketers take like a bird's eye view or data points of who the customer is, right? They're like, oh, it's this person that only shops at farmers markets and only refills and only does it. And you're like, yeah, okay. But then there's this whole other population that would be very happy to switch to bars if they knew it left their hair beautiful and also saved them money. Like, the plastic free part is like the tertiary reason, but like, and that makes them happy. That's like the icing for them. And so, you know, it wasn't like, I think you have to really live the lifestyle to appreciate, because I do refill. I am with all kind of, to a marketer looking at me, they'd be like, oh, this person is also crunchy. And I am, except for my hair. Like, you know,
back off.
Yeah. Because, you know, you often say like, character is like what you do when no one's looking. Like, I was often,
you're brushing your hair.
When no one's looking, I was using bottled hair care because it's like the thing that I really loved. And the you know, the slip of a luxury conditioner is like, you know, so I don't know, some people like pedicures, and so I really love the slip of a luxury conditioner. It makes my whole day.
Right.
And so that's, you know, I wanted to keep that for someone else. I know I'm not alone in that. And that was how dip came about. Came out of pure frustration, and it came out of the pure love for the women that I know that also think like me.
Yeah. And I have to imagine, you know, you're describing this sort of luxe experience that we've all been anchored to, with the feeling of the conditioner, and then also just these motions, almost these muscle memories for like how we're going to dispense it and how we're going to apply it and all that. Has there been an education component of this that you know you've really kind of borne in terms of communicating how luxurious the bar is inside the box? And if so, how help the rest of us tell a story in a similar way?
So I've been in marketing for so long. I wanted to see if I could kind of turn marketing on its head and see if I could create a word of mouth kind of analog brand. That was with dip. It was like this other piece that I was like, wow, how old school can I make it? You know, how like, I just wanted to be amazing hair care that works. Like, that was my number one thing. And then I was like, how cool would it be if we, you know, said no to influencers. We said no to, giving Meta more money, like just no ads, no influencers, no bombarding people with a ton of emails. Like, do you think that people would be so excited about it that they would tell others
Yeah.
organically? And like they did. And so that has been we've never had to do any of that kind of advertising or anything, or like fake UGC, and people are so surprised. They come to Dip with their expectations so low, and then they're so surprised that like I'll see one person has bought it for themselves. I'll then see that person sometimes buy like 3 or 4 more sets and ship them to other people. And so that has happened so many times. And then, because I'm in like this refill community, I've been refilling since I first discovered that was a kind of way to shop.
Yeah.
Um, Dip is I do a lot to get Dip into refill stores and also to champion them back, because for me, it's bigger than shampoo and conditioner. I want people to buy Dip from their local store so that by accident, like you don't have to finger waggle someone into buying Dip, right? Like they go there and then they see like, oh, there's a replacement. Like I can get stasher bags instead of Ziploc. I can refill my spices or my laundry detergent. So I built this universe that existed in real life that was offline.
Oh man, that is so fascinating and so disruptive, honestly, like, and brave. Like it's hard,
Thank you.
right? We all want to be Glossier. Like it's easy,
Yeah.
pattern match that. It's success speaks for itself.
It's only
And
brave now because it worked. If it didn't work, I'd be called stupid.
fair.
So it's like it's only in hindsight that it's considered brave.
Are there other choices that you made where you just like very narrowly sidestepped feeling stupid, but they've worked?
Yeah. So do not put our products on Amazon. And what you see is like all of our competitors are like vultures on our keywords on Amazon, and that's fine. They can like duke it out and pay each other to try and take our customers away. But the joke is that our customers are not, it's not that they don't shop on Amazon, but they don't want to. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They want to support locally. They want it's worth the extra step to the 1 or 2 friction points we put in place that marketers say you should get rid of. We put them back in. So like go to store or buy from our actual website. And those are things that are really important to the success of Dip. Like we've kept our customers close and we love them. And we also treat them with like a lot of respect. They're not just another cog in the wheel of the Amazon data machine.
I think the other thing that brings up for me is this idea of like really foundational, durable, patient marketing,
Yeah.
where you are like hitting customers in their relationships and like in their heartstrings and not taking the easy path, but for the purpose of building something that is really like generational or long lasting or
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know why more founders don't say this. I'd literally be nothing without the customers. So you have to treat them with white glove service, Like I don't understand not rolling the red carpet out for your customers. There's been like a kind of a weird shift away from treating your customers well.
Yeah.
You've probably noticed it as a consumer. Like I've noticed it as a consumer. There's so many companies that like they take your money and they never make anything right. Like,
Yeah.
and I find that foundationally scary and sad. And I studied economics and math, so like I have always known about like the dismal science and how commerce is made to protect the company, and it's
Yeah.
very dehumanizing. However, I don't really necessarily think that has to be that way, just because it's become conventional knowledge that companies will squeeze every penny out of a consumer. You don't have to do it that way.
Right.
And we've proven that you don't have to do it that way. We've proven that the best way to make an impact is to just treat your customers well. And it's not like it's impossible for someone else to mimic. In fact, I invite every entrepreneur to treat their customers better. It would actually be way way easier to be a consumer in this world.
Oh man, I hope people take you up on that invitation.
Please do it. It's so expensive, I think, to treat customers poorly.
S-
Like I don't.
yes, that is
Yeah.
that right there. Because as so many of us know, the cost of acquiring a new customer is like 5 to 10 times the cost of maintaining an existing customer. And I think where it gets really tricky and honestly emotional is that some things about our current economy and the speed with which we can consume mean that customers aren't treating us that nicely, and or us,
They're
our,
not.
our customer support employees. And it was always one of those things where I was like, you really just, you have to not dehumanize, but suspend your disbelief, almost like
Yeah.
transport yourself into, I have all sorts of like customer service names that I would like. I would become a different person in a conversation just so that I didn't feel like Sam was getting yelled at, because
Yeah.
Sam got yelled at so many times that day and she couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't mean dehumanizing it, but it does mean like a little bit of a dissociation from like the attack that you
Mhm.
feel when a customer is like abusing you or
Yeah.
like
Well,
yelling.
customers, they go to extremes first because of other businesses treating them poorly, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that it's like, I already know when someone says to me, they're like, I tried dip once and all my hair fell out and I have an itchy rash and all that. It does not, it's first of all, it's not really scientifically possible because it's a rinse off product that's on your head for usually 10 seconds and then it
Yeah.
goes away. It just doesn't work that way. And your
Yeah.
skin is like a very good barrier for any, like it just, and it's so gentle.
Yeah.
But I know that that person is saying that to us because they think they have to go to extremes for us to treat them well. And
Yeah.
we'll treat them well whether you just tell us the truth. If you're like, I don't really like it, like we'll always treat you well. And so you see that a lot. That kind of consumer behavior is learned. It's a byproduct of other companies being crappy. And once you do that, once you kind of put that together, that takes the sting out. It's not personal. It's just they don't know how else to get things to be made right. Um,
It's
that's what.
almost like it would be a rising tide. We need some sort of
Mm.
brand pledge for customer
Yeah.
service, and then like a support group.
Well,
Like,
yeah, but it's their consumer behavior is weird, right? Like, I actually, I'll tell a story. This is like a legendary customer that was so horrible. He was so horrible. So the legend goes, he buys he buys a whole fleet of stuff from us. And he writes to us the day after he gets it and is like, I love your product so much. I want to be an ambassador for you. And I said, and I say this to everyone who wants to be an ambassador of Dip, I was like, hey, that's amazing. I'm so excited. You have to use the products a full way through because I can't have you be an ambassador on the first wash. It's not the same as someone who knows the struggle of having the few pieces left of your bar and having to marry it on another bar. Like I want the ambassador program is very we do have gates up, and one of them is just you have to be a customer and you have to use the product through one cycle. Otherwise, it's kind of like everyone loves a new bar. And
right.
I want so anyway, so that's I was kind of like said something very similar in that, a little bit more professionally. Well, he got very upset that I wouldn't let him in the ambassador program right away. He was like, "You don't know who I am, and you don't know like." And I was like, "You're right, but there's this one requirement I have is that you have to use it
Right. I
longer than
don't
one
know who
day."
you are.
Yeah, I was like,
Maybe.
you have to use it long in one day. And so what he did then, out of spite, was he wanted to return things one by one. So I had to pay shipping, and I'm fine. There's a 30-day return policy. One by one, he returned everything out of spite, and he returned it disgusting, covered in hair, and like one by one. So this purchase he made cost me, 10 times the amount after shipping it one by one back to me. And even when like he was getting like nastier and nastier. He like called me a loser. He called my staff members losers. He was really nasty to my right hand, Joanne. And it was just a disaster. Okay. We're like, okay, great. Like, here's all your money back, but you can't keep the products. Like, you have to send them back. So we sent them back in the grossest way ever. This is a year ago. I remember because it was around my birthday last year.
Yeah.
So my birthday this year, oh, what? And we like blocked him. You can't shop from us anymore because he was very, very abusive in his emails. Like, and so we're like, hey, we'll do whatever we want to make you happy, but this relationship's like over. Like, thank you. Like, go find another shampoo. We don't care. And so this year on my birthday, I see his name come in under a different email address, and he bought a whole bunch of stuff again. And so I was excited because I was just like, cancel. So I canceled his order because he's not allowed to interact with me or my staff anymore. That's how bad he was.
Wow.
And then he started getting like crazy. He was like asking my staff, why was my order canceled on the stuff? And we were like, you're just not allowed. I'm sorry, like you can shop in store. That was what we said. And but it's these kind of things when people are like really bad customers, the companies remember. Like we remember who you are. Like he was the worst customer we've ever had. It was funny to have him back, but it was also like I think it's funny too. It's the one time we've really ever done that to someone.
Yeah.
It did feel good.
It did feel good. I mean, so, the tough thing is the crossroads I always found myself at, was that on the one hand, I really wanted to honor my obligation and sort of commitment to the customer.
Yeah.
And then I would have to balance that with my commitment to my employees. And I'm like,
my employees come first.
Right? Like I have literally two people that somebody's asking me to choose between right now. And like, if I have to choose a person, like I gotta protect my employee. That was all. I never had the right answer for that. It was always like such a sucker punch.
No, my employees are so incredible. Some of them have been with me since the very beginning. As soon as I could hire them, they're here and they've been here. And I know that their character is great. But you have a customer like that. I already know that person's character is questionable. And so I'm not going to bend over backwards to make make the whole team miserable for a customer who is like so uncool, like tragically uncool. I'm so used to like.
I hope that is the.
Yeah, that should be the response. We're sorry, you're tragically uncool, and we don't want you as a customer. But like, you have to be really bad for us to.
Yeah. We'll take a lot. We will take a lot, but you gotta be a good human being,
Yeah, and I think it's so funny is that he likes the product so much. He wanted to be an ambassador, but he felt he needed to abuse the team to get what he wanted, even though he did. We were agreeable the whole way through. We're like, here you go, sure, return it. We'll pay for it. Whatever.
All our shipping and
Yeah, but then when he came back and like tried to pretend he was someone else, it was even funnier. It's like, we still don't want you, dude. Please go away.
It's still over. We are never getting back together ever, like ever.
Thousands. There's thousands of shampoo companies. You don't need ours.
Cards on the table. Your tech stack is held together with duct tape and prayers. If you're a brand founder or COO juggling Shopify, your 3PL portal, 3 different inventory trackers, and yes, that one crucial Google Sheet, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Orders get lost, inventory counts are fiction, and your seamless integrations break every other Tuesday. Endless Commerce changes the game. One platform for everything. DTC, wholesale, marketplaces, the works. AI-powered forecasting, real-time inventory visibility, and integrations that actually integrate. Teams like Great Jones, Food 52, and Pattern Brands already made the switch. Ready to ditch the chaos? Visit endlesscommerce.com, mention Commerce is Chaos when you reach out, and get 3 months free. Because your ops stack should be your competitive advantage, not your biggest headache.
How does AI infiltrate any of this for you? Do you have like a hard line on it? Are you using to make some of this job a little bit easier, or at least take out maybe some of the sting of interactions like that? Or is it a complete no-fly zone? I'm so curious.
No, it's not a no-fly zone. So because I'm from New Jersey, not everyone responds to New Jersey people with the same kind of flexibility, elasticity. So sometimes if I'm really angry, I have to soften it. And it's what it's so rare that I can't get my head right enough to write an email. But that's probably the thing I use it for the most if I have to, is softening an email that I know won't land if I'm being myself.
That makes sense. I mean, it's so interesting. And in that way, it humanizes you. If you're like in a disordered self-interaction where you're like, I'm not myself right now, right? I've lost it.
Well, I always
can bring you back.
The prompt is like, this is how I feel. This is what I want to say. Please like make it nicer and more professional. And also, this is the desired outcome. Like, I want at the outcome for like, there to be peace in the land between me, myself, and this other person. So like,
peace in the land. That's the skill / peace in the land.
It's the peace in the land, because sometimes I'm just kind of like, ugh, this person stinks. Like, I don't know how to handle it. And I don't know whether that's like a cultural thing of like where I'm from, where you're just like, or maybe it's because I'm a Cancer. Like, we cut people off left and right. Like, but I have to navigate this world being friendly with some people, and some people are really put on this earth to challenge you. And
it's the other skill. Why am I like this? Peace in the land. Why am I like this?
All I want is peace, but I also want to cut people's heads off. Like, what's happening?
Be a founder, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
It's so tricky because you go through life being kind of like a normal person, and suddenly you create a job for yourself, and that job suddenly becomes a company, and that company suddenly becomes a thing, and then you end up on podcasts and you're still the ridiculous person you were before the company started. So it's very hard to navigate sometimes when you're
still a human being.
I don't think anything's that serious. So when people say very serious or like very angry, like, I don't know how to respond sometimes.
It's tragically uncool.
Yeah, you're being tragically uncool in email, like, especially when someone starts slipping in capital letters all over the place in the email. Like, I don't know how to respond to that. Like, if it was in person, I'd know exactly how to respond, but in writing, It's really difficult. So that's what I use it for when I am at a crossroads of, should I send this thing back or not?
Do you use it in other ways that I'd love to talk about product more too? Do you use it in other ways, either like in product? I know you run your own manufacturing. Like, is it helping you find efficiencies there? Or let's start with AI, and then we'll dig deep into manufacturing.
You know what it is? The people on my team are so good at what they do, and so the production team has been making products. They used to work for a contract manufacturer, and then they went bankrupt, and so I brought them over. We started our own factory. And so they have been doing production, purchasing. They know all about raw materials. Been doing that for decades, and they're really, really good at it. So they are their own AI at that point. They're RI, they're real intelligence. Like, they know everything, like inside and out. And so they're incredible. My account manager, who helps me with like my wholesale and like retail accounts, she used to own a refill store in one of the best ones in the country. And so she was just navigating. She was like moving from where her physical location was to another spot. And so I was like, oh my God, you should come work with us. And she did. And so like everyone has like I don't have to ask Claude or ChatGPT for anything, because these people have like real human memories, like knowledge of
human APIs. People
crazy. Inside
the business that just connect everything and like manage the collective intelligence of the group.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing, because I'm not anti-AI. I do not like AI being used to replace artists. Like, my husband and I met at art school, and he is an industrial designer. And it's crazy because stuff that used to 5 years ago would take an industrial designer like 30 hours of work. You can get kind of like you can get, I don't know, I want to say 80% of the job done in like seconds now. And that is crazy.
It is wild.
We were watching one of his friends like show us this new software, and we were like, oh my God, that is crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's a very dicey thing in sustainability because of the water usage. I always wonder if they can solve that water usage and turn like this. I don't understand. Is it always new water? Like, what's going on? Like, they can't use the same water over, and it's not touching electronics. Why can't they use the same water? Why can't they have gray water going through? Like, I don't understand what's going on with the water usage, but I know it's to cool down the data centers, but like, why can't that be reused?
I don't have that answer. I think some of it is, but yeah.
Well, like,
this is what we need, lateral thinking.
All I hear is that new water has to be used all the time. And it's like, well, what about the water that was used? What happens to it?
Right.
What happens to the water cycle? The water cycle was something I thought was tried and true. Like, is it not?
It goes up and then it comes down.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I don't know enough about that. But until they figure that out, I try my best to just minimally touch it.
So, you know what? I think you're pointing at something very interesting, which is just kind of a new era of sustainable living, which is to be
Mhm.
conscious of the other types of energy that we're using that's not
Yeah.
like maybe physically in front of us in the form of plastic and packaging, but that's like in front of us in terms of the tools that we use and how much energy they require to operate.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is that so when we do photo shoots, like I don't think consumers realize I we use all human for well the art side of our business, but like I don't think people realize how much a photo shoot costs and how many people are involved in it. Like and so somewhat I can understand why brands are running to AI for image
Yeah.
generation because it's practically free. My even the images that are just like sliders on our website, we one photo shoot with only 6 models was $25,000. You have to have the makeup artist, the photographer. Like it's a big thing, the lighting, the retouching, all these things. And I don't think people realize how much shampoo you need to sell to invest in something like that or whatever someone's selling. And so it's very easy for the consumer side to be like, no AI ever or any of those things. On the business side, I can see why it is the biggest gilded dangling carrot ever, you
Yeah.
know? And we kind of remain in a thing where we already spent the money on this photo shoot, so I guess we'll ride these photos out for the rest of time, um, and see how long we can go before we need to do another one. So it is it's an interesting conversation, but because consumers don't know what it's like to own a business and they don't manage, many of them do not manage P&Ls and they don't know, you know, what things actually cost. And even on that $25,000 photo shoot with just 6 models, I
Yeah.
can't print those photographs. I don't have the usage rights for those. But so say if I did them via AI, I would be able to put them in catalogs and do all this, but it would feel very phony to me and it's not really what I'm about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think there, like as a founder operator, the business and how it exists is so much a reflection of your priorities and values and personality. And like you're hitting all the points, right? Like you want it to be luxurious and very high end. And there's like a certain amount of refinement that is
Mhm.
required that is maybe hard for like just a machine to replicate
Yeah.
overnight. And then you want it to be sustainable and so really like you're kind of matching the marketing strategy and the content creation strategy and the creative execution with these things that are like intrinsic to the brand's values itself. And I think that that's very consistent and
Oh,
beautiful.
thanks. Thank you. You know what? It's not that hard once if you're building a brand that you believe in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think it's the choices are easy when I know my own standards. It becomes really hard when you question yourself all the time and constantly take advice from others. So, I'm not telling people to not take advice, but it is really good to like just go with your gut. Your gut will know what most of the right decisions are. If you start to feel queasy over a decision you made, you probably should have taken the other road, you know?
And I mean, and there's so much actual biology and chemistry in that like
Yeah,
thinking with your gut is a real thing. It's
it's
not
real.
just, oh, you're ignoring the data or you're ignoring your brain. It's like
Yeah.
this is a thinking organism that really, especially for entrepreneurs, is such a powerful guide. And it's maybe harder to characterize or differently perceived, but you're right.
Yeah.
You can
But if you're not an
literally,
entrepreneur, you know that feeling of someone watching you, you know, in a room or like on a platform somewhere. You like know there you can kind of like it's a congruent kind of feeling, right? Like you know if something doesn't feel right, you just know.
huge.
Um and it's important to just I'm a little bit woo woo and naturey in that way. Like I think you have to listen to those things that, you know, the things that make the hairs on the back of your neck. You should keep them, by the way. Don't get rid of the hairs on the back of your neck. You should keep them. So they're a good they're a good barometer of what's gonna happen. But yeah, I think about that stuff all the time and listening to your own gut is very powerful in business, I'm sure.
Are there decisions that you've made in kind of guiding or wayfinding for the business where you really have trusted your gut and it worked out nicely that or maybe where you were hearing from the outside that you were doing something that was questionable and you doubled down on it and it worked out?
Yeah, so that the biggest example of that is the Amazon, just keeping our stuff off Amazon that that has worked out. But one of the things that has not worked out, which might be more interesting, I guess, is in the beginning of Dip, it was very important to me that we had ingredient transparency and all this for our customers. So I signed, I can't even say it out loud, really, a $50,000 contract with this company that had like ingredients tethered to an app and an index, and people could see like what was good or bad or what was a potential allergen. Like all of that stuff was like out there for consumers. Like 1 month after, it took us hundreds of labor hours to input all the information. 1 month after we got this seal and we then spent all this money to put it on all of our boxes, that company sunsetted that app that was consumer facing and then wouldn't give us our money back.
What?
And it was like one of those things where I was like, oh my God, I was so confident in this decision. I was so confident that this is what, because I love our customers so much and I want them to know, like, yeah, we kept hair science in, but we made sure it was very, very safe and all of these things. And that was one of the biggest lessons learned ever. And then it made me like allergic to certs. I was like, I don't want any certs ever again. Like,
so interesting, really.
Yeah. But now we're Leaping Bunny certified, and that people demanded that, even though we've always behaved the same since 2021. Oh my gosh, when we started, and nothing has changed, but now we have the cert to prove that we're cruelty free.
Yeah.
And so, that because we had customers like really demanding that one. We're like, we're already cruelty free. And they're like, well, we don't
and then
believe you.
why am I paying someone $5,000?
Like, okay, but the cruelty free bunny people, they're like, or Leaping Bunny, their team is like really nice and very, very thorough. That's another thing, we have to do so much work, but because their team is so great and they really mean what they stand for, I felt more comfortable with them than the other one.
Yeah, I feel similarly about a lot of certifications and awards where it's really just pay for play. And we've been talking about this a lot on the pod recently, just like the different types of certifying bodies and how they are complementary to or adjacent to actual kind of compliance bodies and like NGOs and governmental regulations. And so much of it is like someone thought they could make money selling a badge. And they do.
Trust me, I fell victim to it, and it was the worst thing ever.
I was now I think this is a terrible idea, but at the beginning of this story arc, I was gonna say that you should have the cert. You should help other people do it the right way. Maybe it's not terrible.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I'm less people-y for me. The people I want to do, I don't want to. I'd rather help customers understand what we're doing than help other entrepreneurs navigate the cert. The cert process, and that's only because the customers end up being more fun. I don't like
Fair.
It's a purely selfish decision.
Wait, what have I done?
It's hard because it's getting a certification. Even if the certification is free, the process is generally not free. The labor hours are not free. All of those things, and some it's very common for entrepreneurs to ask other entrepreneurs for advice, but instead of real advice, what they want is to offload the actual work onto you. And I've seen that a lot, and I'm just kind of like, I'm not doing your homework, man. Like, I'm not here for that.
Okay, we need to hang out.
Practically uncool of you to give me more homework.
No, I do. I have an affinity for that sort of thing, though, and I ended up making it my calling, for better or for worse. And
I'm glad the world has people like you.
Thanks, pal. I mean, my particular version of it was that I don't know, that the path that I walked was so self-taught and so difficult. And I was like, it doesn't really have to be like the cert doesn't have to be $50,000. It can just be, can just be some well-dispensed advice. Or there were all sorts of, I just got, I don't know if I was actually taken advantage of a lot of times, but I felt like people were after me all the time. And I was maybe kind of canny enough to avoid a lot of it, or to go the self-taught path on a lot of it. And then I would watch my friends, paying a consultant to do something, or paying for a certification. I'm like, but or paying NetSuite,
Yeah.
$200,000 to roll out. I'm like, wait, no, here's my SOP.
Yeah.
Like, here, just take, I've already done it. Take it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many people out there trying to get money from you. Well, most of the people that are in my email inbox, they're trying to figure out how to make money off of me, my brand, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think once you kind of reframe those emails when they come to you, you feel no guilt just getting rid of the email.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
It's rare to find someone who, well, I mean, the economy is the economy. Everybody's got to eat. But
yeah.
I felt like there was a predatory aspect to it that I really
Absolutely.
wanted to disrupt. Like,
Yeah. I am glad you're there to disrupt that because there's so much of it right now.
well, thank you for that. And I feel like I would be making a lot more money doing it. Like, where's the part where you bring a little bit of the predator back in? Because I'm like, I just would give it all away if I could, to help. But there's a luxury and a joy in that too. I would love to talk about your manufacturing plant. So you alluded to it earlier. You had a co-man that went under. It sounds like you saved a lot of jobs in the process.
A few. I say 4 jobs. Yeah.
That counts. More
Yeah.
power to you. Tell us just a little bit about like how your manufacturing process works. What were like the
Sure.
biggest learnings or discoveries, and then like did money drop down to the bottom line as a result of you kind of getting a little bit more vertically
Yeah.
integrated, or were there unexpected costs where you're like, oh my gosh, this machine is $75,000. What have I done?
Well, the first thing was that the contract manufacturer went bankrupt, and it's not like they go bankrupt overnight. It was like a slow bleed of like they took a big purchase order like deposit, and then it was like, where's my stuff? Is my stuff coming? Where's this big order? Like, where is it? And then their customer service person like stopped answering the phones. And then it was like,
Gosh.
oh, the emails aren't getting answered anymore, or that I'd have like other brands that figured out that my stuff was made at this plant, and they would call me and be like, where is everybody? I saw your boxes there. Where's XYZ person? I was like, I don't know. I can't get my stuff either. Like, what do you expect?
Wow.
So it was like, that was months and months of like being in the dark and not really knowing what's going on. And then you get like one email from someone, and it would give you like a huge, huge basket of hope. And that hope then just became too heavy, and it would just like, tumble out of your arms. And then like you'd wait for the next nugget of email. So it's the downward slope of a company going bankrupt is hard. I didn't want to know. Well, I wanted to know what was happening, but I also didn't want to know because they had a big chunk of my money.
Right.
In the end, I lost that big chunk of money. And everything went dark at that place. And I had a relationship with the people I did work with. And I was like, hey, like, I still need to make this stuff. Like, I'm not going to go to another contract manufacturer because my formulas are so, so special. And I worked very, very hard on them. And what people don't know is if you bring your formulas to another contract manufacturer, they can like keep 95% of the formula, change 5%, like the marketing ingredients, and then sell it to L'Oreal or sell it to whoever. And they can kind of like, so I didn't want to do that. You have to be like, that happens all the time in the industry. So yeah, I pitched this to my favorite people that work there, and now they have been working for DIP full time since I guess 2022.
And did you rebuild the facility, or
No, I rent a commercial space, and yeah, we had to buy the equipment, we had to do all those things, and I just put it all on credit card and just went and chipped away at it as I could. And then I had to, pay them. Suddenly I have all this big headcount and all these salaries to pay. And it was kind of crazy. And then the nice thing happened is we grew and I had to double that space. So the space next door opened up and like we rented it because I started with 2 employees and then I got 4. So we brought on 2 more people. And then, and so that is how I ended up with a factory that I didn't want, but I love. I love my team. My team, they used to make like stuff for, between 60 and 200 brands at a time. And now they just work on DIB, and they've all been friends and worked together for decades. So it's really like they have like, it's like kind of fun for them and us. And we just, It's a very silly team that gets along. So we're pretty grateful for that.
What a great outcome. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know it was going to be great. It's like the
Right.
same thing, that courage thing, like could have been a stupid idea. It ended up working out. So now it's considered a great move.
Now we can say that you were smart about it.
It could have been really stupid. I don't know. But it ended up, but you don't know that until you do it. And so I've kind of had that attitude that you really like. I keep that attitude that's like, you really only know and can only make decisions with what you know at the time. And so even when you can make a bad decision and in hindsight has proven it's a bad decision, you are able to forgive yourself for making that what felt like a good decision in the past.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it sure does.
Because if you treat every decision you made and punish yourself for decisions that didn't turn out the way you wanted them to with new information, you're not really being fair to yourself. And so that one turned out great. Other ones have not turned out great. That one turned out great.
And that we will save for the next episode. All of Kate's not great decisions.
Oh, there's been so many.
Maybe good decisions, bad outcomes. Who knows?
Well, that's how I rephrase them for my own peace of mind.
There you go. Yeah. This has been such a great conversation. Thanks for just sharing so genuinely and honestly. I know we covered some territory that can be tricky, like customer relationships and, and AI and how to balance humans against the robots, against other humans. But it was really refreshing to have just an authentic and really genuine retelling of how to deal with some of those things in the real world. And so I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate anyone who's made it to the end of this episode and is listening to us do this wrap up.
Success. All right. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you. So nice to meet you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Commerce is Chaos. If you're listening, I have a feeling you know just how much good leaving a 5-star review can do for a team. Drop us a review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to Commerce is Chaos wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to our Substack, also called Commerce is Chaos, for more good stuff and actionable tools to build your business.